Now, in the last class, we have seen the antenna arrays by considering 2 point sources with currents equal in magnitude and equal in phase. When that is there, we have simply got a broadside kind of a array pattern where the axis of radiation, where the axis of the antenna is going to be on x-axis and the radiation is coming along the y-axis. So if this pattern is rotated by 360 degrees about the axis of the antenna array, then we normally going to get represent a three-dimensional donut shaped space pattern. Okay, this is actually shown two-dimensional. In three-dimensional, we normally going to get a donut shaped type of the radiation pattern. So now next case is going to be what now? Now this one we have seen for d is equal to lambda by 2. What is d? Distance between the 2 point sources is nothing but d, which has been taken as is equal to lambda by 2. In that case, we have got this kind of a radiation pattern. Now next case we will see. What is the next case? 2 point sources with currents equal in magnitude but opposite in phase. So this is the next case we normally going to consider. Now in this next case, all the conditions are going to be same except the phase of the currents is normally opposite. That is 180 degrees. Now with this condition, what we can have? The total electric field is nothing but equal to, we have written as in the previous case, when currents are going with say, equal in magnitude and phase, we have written there as E1 plus E2. Now they are in opposite phase. Since they are in opposite phase, one of the electric fields will consider as minus to indicate that E1 and E2 are in opposite phase. It is same as the output of a CE amplifier. We have discussed about CE amplifier in the previous semester. So a CE amplifier is going to provide us a 180 degrees phase shift. Now mathematically, have you write that gain as? The gain of CE amplifier will be getting as negative, minus in minus sign. That minus indicates the inverted phase by 180 degrees. So the angle, that means the phase angle is going to be 180 degrees between the two antenna radiations. So that's what we're going to consider as ET is equal to minus E1 plus E2 we consider. So we assume the equal magnitudes of currents. Therefore, in either side, we'll be having E naught, E naught, magnitude is going to be same. Therefore, we consider E naught and E naught, both are going to be same. And the fields at point P due to the point sources M1 and E2 is considered as something like E1 is equal to what? E naught E raised to minus J xi by 2, where xi is the total phase angle, total phase difference. Then E2 is equal to E naught into E power J xi by 2. Now we substitute this in the above equation for the antiphase directions of the antenna. Antiphase direction. Well, now by substituting these two equations, 2 and 3 in equation 1, what I'll be getting now, Et is equal to minus E1 plus E2. So E1 is substituted with minus E1 as something like, I can write as minus E naught E raised to minus J by J xi by 2 plus E naught E power J xi by 2. So here the phases, if you see, minus J xi by 2 plus J xi by 2. Okay, this is what very important consideration. If you take the both same phase, total phase angle is going to be taken something like this. Okay, so that is very important consideration to be taken when you normally going to solve the expression for the electric field at point P. Okay. So it tells that one is going to in the positive direction, other one is going to be leading, one is going to be lagging. So it shows about that. So therefore, we can normally going to write like this: minus of e power minus j xi by 2 plus e power j xi by 2. I can bring this in the form of sine theta. Sine theta is equal to e power j theta minus e power minus j theta by 2j. So in order to bring this into sine theta form, you simply multiply and divide by 2j. When you multiply and divide by 2j, it will be coming into the form of sine function. So we can just simply, this is wrongly written here, this is sine theta. Sine theta is equal to e power j theta minus e power minus j theta by 2j. That is a formula actually. So by substituting with that formula, what we can have now here, E in Et is equal to 2j as it is, E naught as it is, and this is written as simply equal to sine xi by 2. Instead of theta, I have simply xi by 2. So therefore, I'll write it with a xi by 2. All right. What is the phase angle now? What is the total phase angle? It is beta d cos phi, beta d cos phi. Okay, so I'll simply substitute this as the same equation as we have got in the previous case. As the condition for 2 points with currents in phase and out of phase is same. So here we have just simply considered this as the previous case, xi is nothing but equal to beta d cos phi. So please remember this equation for xi because it is more useful in doing problems. Sometimes for 1 marks or 2 marks, he is going to ask us to find out the phase angle. Okay, he's going to ask us to find out the phase angle. Therefore, xi you have to find out. Xi is equal to beta d cos phi. So you have to remember this formula. Please remember this formula. Okay. So xi is equal to beta d cos phi by 2 as it is. So this is the equation as whatever we have earlier. We have simply substituted this. Now we have to find out the maximum direction radiation and minimum radiation. That means we should find out the pattern where we get a maxima and where we get a minima. So for maxima radiation, we go with the maximum direction kind of thing. When it will be maximum, when this component sine beta d cos phi. So in this equation, if you see, you have this entire component is going to be something like, coefficient of this particular sine function. So therefore, if this is maximum, then the sine of beta t cos phi by 2 becomes equal to 1. When this is becomes equal to 1, you get a maximum value of Et. Right. So therefore, for maxima, this sine of beta t cos phi by 2 should be equal to plus or minus 1 for it to be maxima value. So as a maximum value of sine of angle is plus minus 1, we write the condition for maxima is going to be something like this. Okay. Now what is our assumption now? We are assuming that the spacing between the two isotropic point sources are equal to d is equal to lambda by 2. So here when nothing is given, we consider the point sources as the isotropic point sources with the distance of separation between the two point sources is equal to lambda by 2. And we know the expression for beta, that is the phase constant 2 pi by lambda. Well, so we have considered here 2 pi by lambda as beta. So simply substitute them here. Sine of beta means 2 pi by lambda. D is nothing but pi lambda by 2. So this lambda will get cancelled. 2 will simply get cancelled. I'll be simply going to get pi by 2 cos phi as it is equal to plus minus 1. So therefore, this pi by 2 cos phi, this plus minus 1 for a identity using the trigonometric identity, we can have plus minus 2n plus 1 pi by 2, where n is going to take the values from 0, 1, 2, 3. So you should remember this equation. For this particular thing, we normally replace this 1 by a n number of coefficients, something like this. So if n is equal to 0, we'll be writing this as going to be pi by 2 cos phi maximum value is equal to plus minus pi by 2. So pi by 2 will get cancelled. So I'll be having here cos pi max is equal to plus minus 1. So the maximum radiation I'll be getting along 0 degrees and 180 degrees. So this value what we have got is simply opposite to the previous case value, which is having currents with same amplitude and same phase. It is simply 180 degrees phase shift with that. So it's simply this particular condition is going to work like an end fire type of the array, where the radiation pattern is going to be along the axis of the antenna array. Now next one we'll go with the minima direction. Minima means very less radiation or zero radiation. So sine beta d cos phi by 2 should be minimum. That means it should be equal to 0. So we made it equal to 0 to get a minimum radiation. So assuming d is equal to same lambda by 2 for half wave distance, and beta is equal to 2 pi by lambda, same story now we repeat. Sine of pi by 2 cos phi is equal to 0. So for this we'll be getting plus or minus n pi. So it will be simply reverse of the cos. See here, if you have a cos function, imagine here if you have a cos function, cos of beta d, cos phi by 2, if it is equal to plus or minus 1, what we have got in the previous case, we got plus minus n, plus minus n pi we have got. Similar kind of thing will be getting here, plus minus n pi. So for this case, in the previous condition, we have got this one, plus minus 2n plus 1 pi by 2. So just simply it will be reversed, because sine and cos are going to be reversed cases. Why? Because sine 0 is 0, whereas cos 0 is 1. And exactly reverse is going to happen for other angles of the sine and cos. So therefore, we normally going to get a reverse values, reverse constants over here. Well, let us substitute these now. So when you have this as sine of pi by 2 cos phi is equal to 0, can be written as equal to pi by 2 cos phi. If you apply sine to this 0, on this side we'll be having plus minus n pi you're going to get. Okay. Right. If n is equal to 0, if n is equal to 0, there is no phase, then it will be as it is as 0. To get a minimum value, n should be equal to 0. So I'll be writing this. So here, if this is 0, then phi minimum will be equal to 9 plus 90 degrees or minus 270 degrees. So it should be simply reverse of the previous case, broadside kind of array. Same kind of array we normally going to have here. So plus 90 plus 270 degrees, or plus 90 or minus 90 degrees. Both are same. So now half power radiation effect. So what is the value of, what is the half power radiated phase angle? That's what you have to find out. So for this, when the power is half of the maximum value, then the voltage or current equals to 1 by root 2 times the respective maximum value. And the half power will be having 1 by root 2, that is 0.707. This discussion we have made when we discussed about the amplifiers. So same concept we are simply putting it over here. So for half power beamwidth, this value should be equal to 1 by root 2 for half power radiation. So sine pi by 2 cos phi, what I can have now, plus minus 1 by root 2. So this sign, when it comes to here, then we simply represent it with n in n number of integer values as plus minus 2n plus 1 pi by 4. If n is equal to 0, substitute n is equal to 0 here, I'll be getting here plus minus pi by 4. Pi will get cancelled. Is 2 times, it will go 1 by 2. So cos inverse of phi is equal to cos inverse of 1 by 2. It will be 60 degrees or 120 degrees. So at 60 degrees, this is at 60 degrees. At 120 degrees, we have to draw the half power line, half power inclination line. So therefore, we'll be having two lines here. Okay, it's going to be 60 degrees line and 120 degrees line. So two lines we normally going to write. So just simply extend this. So this is the radiation pattern which you'll be getting for the point sources with the same amplitudes and opposite in phase angles. So this is what the case where we normally going to have. And the last case is going to be what now? 2 point sources radiating with currents unequal in magnitude with any phase. So here both are different now, unequal in magnitudes and unequal in phase. Let us imagine that this antenna, there are two antennas. A1 is placed here, A2 is placed here. This A1 is simply traveling with a zero phase, that is a reference phase. Then it is radiating with some inclination. See, this antenna is radiating with some inclination. Let us take this particular case. So under this case, what I can have now as We have considered this case for our simplicity. We have taken E1 as reference phase because we'll take this phase difference is going to be, this is radiating with a phase of 0 degrees. It is radiating with some phase. Okay. So therefore, the total phase difference between the radiations by the 2 point sources at any far point P, here we have far point P, is given by, earlier we have written this as what, beta d cos phi. Now here d has been taken as equal to 1. So here beta is nothing but 2 pi by lambda cos phi, and some more phase has been changed here. So therefore I'll simply put that phase with alpha. Now in the previous cases, this alpha was 0. Now this alpha is normally going to be not 0. If alpha is 180 degrees, it is going to be the case with similar to the 2 point sources with currents equal in magnitude but opposite in phase. Now if alpha is going to lie between 0 and 180 degrees, that is the case we are normally dealing here. Now the total electric field at a point P I can write as what now? Simply E1 plus E2. Now the phase of the E1 is 0. Therefore e power j is 0 L, right? Plus E2 e power j xi. Okay. So this is reference phase. This is the second antenna phase. In the previous case, the resultant one is the shared result because of the two antenna. Therefore, I put xi by 2. But here only one single antenna is really going to have the effect on the radiation now, because only this is having some angle of radiation. So therefore, Et is equal to E1, e power 0 is 1. So E1 plus E2 e power j xi I can have. So therefore, even if I take common, I can write this as E1 into 1 plus E2 by E1 into e power j xi. Now I can write here as what? E2 by E1 is nothing but equal to K. Okay. So we have taken this source 1 is assumed to be taken as a reference antenna, and hence the phase angle is taken as 0. Okay. It is something like whenever we draw some phasor diagram, we normally going to consider the 0 reference phase. With respect to reference phase as 0, we normally going to represent the phases of the other uh, signals. Similar to that here, we normally going to write. So note that here E1 is greater than E2 because E1 is the reference phase. E1 is greater than E2. Therefore, this factor definitely becomes equal to less than 1. So therefore, the K is going to lie between 0 and 1 definitely. Now we'll write this Et is equal to what? E1 of 1 plus K times. This is e power j theta. I can write this as cos theta plus j sin theta form. So I can write this as cos psi plus j sin psi form. I can just expand. Now to find out the maximum magnitude, to find out the absolute value of this function, I simply separate the j part and the real part and imaginary part by simply multiplying this k cos psi plus j k sin psi. Then what is the magnitude I can have? Absolute value just under root of square of the real part and the imaginary part we can have. This is the constant value E1. What is the angle of inclination I can have? Theta is equal to tan inverse of y by x. So what is y? Y is nothing but k sin psi. Whichever part is j part, that is y. What is x here? 1 plus k of cos 1 plus k cos psi. That is the phase angle between the two fields at the 4 point P, which is given by this equation. So this is what regarding the three cases of the point sources considered as an arrays. Okay. So under these three cases, we have to find out the electric field radiation. Well, so thank you very much for today's session. In tomorrow's class, we go with a uniform linear arrays.